Do this general reading for all my star blossoms right now, and then I am going to hop on another live just a few minutes after just to talk about a few things. So if you'd like to join me for that, I welcome you. I also want to shout out everyone that has supported my Etsy business. Guys, if you have not yet already checked out the themed readings that I have available on my Etsy page, along with the super dope crystal boxes, definitely click the link in my bio and check those out. I really appreciate all of those of you that have supported my work and mission. It does mean the world to me. So here we go with this reading. Guys, we're starting with cutting through to truth with this page, okay? So swords is all about, it's basically like exactly what it looks like. You have the baseball bat, you take the swing. It's up to you to cut through, chop it up. What makes sense to you and what no longer does? What are you stepping into and what are you standing in? We also have the energy that's affecting this, okay, which is the Six of Swords. So a lot of swords energy, a lot of truth. And I don't want you to think of truth on what's going on outside around you, although obviously that's a thing right now. I want you to think about your inner truth, okay, your inner guru. You becoming more reliant on yourself and less reliant on what's happening around you or the advice you're getting around you or all these things. Again, it's always wonderful to advocate for yourself. It's always wonderful to seek resources, whether they're people or other resources to assist you with whatever, space you're in your life. But you want to make sure ultimately that it aligns with who you are. And this is when intuition comes in. Intuition above all. You always want to go with that first gut feeling. And just know that the worst is behind you, guys. That's what this card means. You're going more towards your truth, even if it feels a bit dark, a bit lonely, or a bit scattered is the word I'm hearing right now. Please keep going and do take any assistance that's coming in. You might be the one rowing the damn boat yourself. There's a good chance that's the situation. But either way, even if it feels like sad or there's some grief going on or whatever's going on internally, just keep the boat going, okay? You do have great balance coming in, and I feel this collectively as far as the Eros Gamos, the Holy Grail being fulfilled right now, guys. So know that this energy is available to you, and it is the Lover's card, but it's not just about like meeting someone and falling in love. Yes, that can absolutely happen, but it's more about the balance of the masculine and feminine energy. We're seeing that more and more and more as time goes on, and it's beautiful. So please do that within. The more you do it within, the more it happens outside of us. And we have all these beautiful energies from the universe that are literally, we were having a discussion about this in a group chat of mine this morning. And the way I'm seeing it, guys, it's like these particles out in the air almost every morning now. It started about 2 months ago, but it looks like almost like speckles of glitter in the sky. And I shared this with a great friend of mine who's super advanced in so many ways. And, she was confirming, she just said, yeah, these are these new 5D frequencies, these upgrades from the sun especially. So let's take advantage of all that's coming in to bring this yin-yang balance. And guys, this energy of the Lovers is affecting the whole reading. So I feel like for many of you, you've been holding your ground, okay? You've been holding the strength. You've been doing all the manifesting you possibly can. You've been, understanding the as above, so below. You've been treating things the way that you want to be treated, and you've been standing in your truth. But for some reason, guys, there's something you're feeling right now. It's super imbalanced. It's super imbalanced with the work that you're doing. So please know that your ship is still afloat. There's something to be said about those of you that focus your energy on more of what you want to see and what you want to manifest versus those of you that keep looking at the things that you don't like. Those of you that understand how energy works, instead of staying stuck, this is for those of you that are stuck or feeling this great imbalance. It's okay when it gets a little choppy, guys. It's okay. That's part of life. But are you the one that seeks outside of yourself to find solutions, or are you the one that just keeps basically tripping over your own feet? Here's what I'm going to say to you. I know that you're going to break through this. I know that you're going to have, it's a breakthrough, because this page that you are stepping into, that you are right now cutting through to your own truth, it's going to allow you to see what sword needs to be dropped. Guys, for a lot of you, you need alone time right now. You need alone time. I'm going to tell you, it's going to serve you. It's going to help you move more swiftly through this cycle, because here's why. Not only is it going to allow you to tap into the intuition and calm these seas, if you're feeling like this, doesn't it make sense, for everything around you that's adding ripples, that's adding to these waves, to kind of distance yourself from that as much as you can? That way, you can have the space to drop the sword that no longer serves and go ahead and come back with your 3 swords standing. And guys, whenever we have that 3 energy, remember, I know this is a 4 card, right? So it's foundation, but there are 3 swords that are remaining, okay? And that's all about that Trinity energy too. It's very powerful. It's very potent. I think that you've come into this identity where you realize that it might look different than you expect. I think many of you have come to that acceptance. You're starting to look at things differently, and that's beautiful. But again, just remember, that's why you're feeling this, because anytime you're shifting, you're changing, it feels uncomfortable. This is why people don't want to do it. It's not comfortable. They'd rather be comfortable and unhappy than you know, take that discomfort on just temporarily. It's only temporary. Thank you for all the hearts coming in, and then upgrade themselves. So please make sure that you're staying with this beautiful energy, which is another page, guys. Like, this is all about like you offering to yourself, others offering to you. There's just more on the, like, it's almost like you're at a buffet and you're only picking the food to put on your plate that you want to eat. Right? You're not picking the stuff that you don't want to eat. You're only putting it, doesn't that make sense? So only pick the actions, behaviors, and really everything that you want to eat. In other words, it might look different, and I love that you're accepting that. Here's what's beautiful. Other people are catching on to your manifestations. Other people are seeing that, wow, all these things, like maybe they're observing and they're saying, wow, like so-and-so appears to, you know, be doing well or doing, and you might be like, little do they know, I'm barely keeping above water or staying on the surface here. But to other people, they're starting to see this culmination. You've been compiling all of these experiences and all of these lessons, and it's really coming into something beautiful. You're balancing your scales. There is justice being served in your personal life. So all of the mishaps, if you will, all of the discomforts, all of the things that you experienced, you're now able to almost connect the dots, and it's only going to get greater, guys. It's only going to get greater. My advice would be to keep facing the discomfort. Because let me say, like, I had a conversation with someone about this recently too. Good job if you've activated your upper chakras. I love if your third eye is open. I love if your throat chakra, if you're speaking and living your truth. I love if your crown is open and you're expanding. But we all know it almost feels counterintuitive, but then you got to go back down. You got to go down to the heart. You got to go down to the solar plexus, the sacral, and the root. And that's the hard part. It's not too hard to have all these beautiful spiritual gifts coming in, these awakenings and all these things, but that's not where it stops. That's where it begins. And now you have to go back down, and that's where, again, a lot of this instability, and it does take time. So go easy on yourself. Don't judge yourself, okay? Once you think you've released all your mistruths, you're going to find there's more. Healing is an ongoing game. It's an ongoing game. It doesn't just stop. Like, you're not just like done. Yes, there are major landmarks and it gets easier. It gets so much easier. It gets so much easier. But again, you have to do that inner work. You have to do the deep healing. I say it in every video because it's a constant. It never changes, all right? But yeah, I love that people are observing that, yes, all of these experiences are coming together for you, and you are feeling that balance, okay? That yin yang is here for you, and it's here for you personally. Again, notice how he's holding the sword. It's all about truth. It's all about balance. The outcome card, guys, yeah, I know I mentioned it here. I felt like that you wanted to spend some time alone. Well, this confirms it. If you're going to do some collaboration with other people, be really mindful in the ways in which you do it, because this is not really a time to collaborate. It's not going to work in your favor right now. Right now. Again, everything is temporary. But I think that Spirit is really calling you to go within more than ever before. We say that all the time as well, but it's just another constant. You don't want to be having inner conflict, but more importantly, you don't, like I said with this card, you don't want to have, if you're already having internal conflict, you don't want to allow external factors to come in and make it even more difficult for you. We're trying to walk on the least restrictive path. It's called working smarter, not harder. There are ways that you can avoid things that are going to trip you up. Am I saying it's going to be smooth sailing the whole time with no obstacles? Absolutely not. There must be obstacles for you to overcome so that you may become more empowered within yourself, right? So you may heal these things. Thank you for all the hearts coming in. But I'm letting you know right now that this is temporary. And if you are collaborating with other people right now, it's just going to rock the boat even more. We want you here, and this is what's coming up for you. This gentle release, this alone time, this releasing in a very graceful way, guys. It doesn't have to be all like chaotic for you, right? You get to choose. You get to choose what emotions you put forth. You get to choose and be very selective on how you isolate those feelings and what you want to step into and what you do not want to step into. Guys, I just feel like I want to mention too, on the bottom of the deck, we also have the Four of Pentacles. So in this case, in this reading, I feel like this is going to serve you. Sometimes this card has a very negative connotation because it's almost like you're hoarding or being greedy or having scarce mentality. By the way, I think some of you are doing that too. But for this, the purpose of this general reading, for many of you, it's actually wise. It's actually wise to do this. It's wise to kind of say to yourself right now, get your own things in order on a logical level. Okay, a masculine level, and also do it in a feminine way too. What are you nurturing that you want to bring to life, and what are you getting just like organized with in a logical timeline or a logical way, okay? Don't overthink it. Please don't overthink it. But just what will make you feel better, and again, create the least restrictive path so that these waves aren't so rough, okay? I'm going to pull some clarification cards for you guys, and thank you everybody coming in the room. We already had 2 cards. Wow. Okay, 2 queens just popped out. The Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords. Okay, so remember that you're heavily protected, guys. Remember that your intuition is going to serve you. And remember that your truth is too. I love that these are 2 queens. I love that it's the Swords and the Wands. Because remember, we did have a lot of Swords and Wands in this reading. I mean, you know that it's going to look a little bit different than you thought. You know that you're releasing things that aren't true. And you know that you're headed towards more of your truth, even if it does feel icky, even if it does feel unbalanced. Even if you do feel like you're stepping back from people and you're like, nah, man, I'm keeping my shit to myself. I'm not collaborating right now. I'm just going to keep going within. I'm going to seek the resources I choose to seek. I don't need all these like, all these other parties showing up, just like bombarding me, right? So do what makes sense for you. And I love this with the Wands, with the Queen of Wands, guys. We have that black cat, which is all about the protection. Just remember that you are heavily protected. I want to say to most of you, you can't really mess this up. You can only delay it. It does feel choppy for some of you right now. I'll be real. But just know that like behind the scenes, whether people are admitting it or not, there's definitely, there might be some haters in the building, actually. Yeah. Don't let chains of the past hold you back, please. This is how energy works. Because look, this is present for you. And the opposite of that is this. So you get to pick, as always, you get to pick. You get to tap into the energy in the shadow side or the light side. That's always up to you. We live in a polarity, okay? There's both sides of everything. The other card that just fell out, guys, is the Hanged Man. So if you are, and I know I want to be careful with my words here, in a general reading it's a little bit difficult, but I will say, again, use your intuition. When I'm asking you to spend time alone, when these cards are indicating that it's not a time to collaborate and that it's a good time to release peacefully by yourself, and then the Hanged Man comes out, don't stay there for too long. Don't stay there for too long. You get to a point in your healing that you start to get really good at your pacing, I guess is what we'll call it. You get to realize like, okay, I'm going to sit with this for 2 days. And again, it's very difficult because we don't be so concise with our linear time, but like you get to feel like, basically you get to feel when you've been doing it too long, when you're just feeling icky for too long and you got to snap yourself out of it, throw on some Fetty Wap and go for a drive, right? You got to snap yourself out of shit as well. Also in balance with sitting with things too, okay? Let's do some Oracle and then we'll close for the day. And as I mentioned, for those of you that came on late, I am going to do a separate video in just a few moments here after I close this reading out, just to talk about some helpful solutions for what is going on right now if you're interested in that. Look, all paths lead home. Holla! Oh, and look at the beautiful medicine wheel here as well, okay? It says all paths lead home, inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. So enough said. That confirms everything in our reading. Okay, so you are your lighthouse. You are your light source. There are wonderful resources out there. Use them with your discretion, okay? And just remember that ultimately you will get to a point where your inner guru, your inner power is totally lit up. and you rarely have to seek those resources. That doesn't mean don't advocate for yourself, but it does mean use your intuition and turn your gaze inward. Okay? Make sure you're doing that, guys. It's very clear in this reading. For those of you that it resonates with, that is your message. There's a lot of water energy in that card too, okay? So going with the flow, flowing with things, even if the water is choppy, even if you feel like you're just barely staying afloat. Bro, doesn't my nail polish look fly? I could probably use a little lotion on there, but I just felt like painting them really bright. Oh, nice. Okay. We have the Hathors again, okay? So guys, I'm all about the ancient future. If you've been following my work for a while, you know this is what I talk about regularly, is ancient future. All of the ancient teachings and all of your soul remembrance and soul retrieval, it's also helpful right now because, oh, and P.S., I feel like more of that is going to be coming online in the next week. We are okay, I got to save it for the other video, but we are really hitting like, hello, Great Awakening, like, keep coming on. Okay, but yeah, so this card says, well, it says, deep love, mother's milk, birth as a portal, So look at this card and the beautiful portal that is created. What are you tuning into, guys? I always say, for those of you, I know some people like to play around out there in the astral and all that. That's totally cool, but make sure you're protecting yourself. The one big problem I have with that over the recent year is that some people are opening themselves up to energies and they don't even realize what they're doing. And the next thing you know, all these parasites are on them. And while I keep telling you, you're heavily protected, yes, you are. When you open yourself up, okay, I don't care who you are, especially in the beginning, you're literally, that's what it sounds like what it is. So please be delicate with this and be wary. I mean, the truth is, I think it's nice to have a balance of your physical body and also your spiritual self and where you're going to travel as far as your expansion or whatever you're doing with your spirit in your own work and business. That's your business, right? You know what's best for you. But I want to throw that out there. The reason I say that is because I think that, again, going back to some people that are newly awakened, there's something that's very attractive to them about experiencing and playing out here in these realms. And while, yeah, you're heavily protected, if you're a newbie, I mean, you're kind of like hot bait. Like, it's kind of like being the new kid on the block kind of thing. So just be aware of that. But yeah, deep love and birth as a portal. Guys, this is feminine energy. This goes back to those two queens that came out for sure. Okay, the wands and the swords, because it's finding your truth, birthing the creation that you want to create. And again, this divine feminine energy that is rising. I'm starting to switch my tune on that too, because I'm feeling divine masculine energy rising more and more. Again, this balance is coming in and it's really beautiful. Okay, this Eros Gamos, the Holy Grail. Okay. So that's your reading for today. Actually, wait, hold on. I just looked at the bottom of the deck and I do want to say this one too. Baby steps. Baby steps. So as long as you're making baby steps, that's fine. That's fine. You don't gotta like, there's no such thing as a rush with your healing. Okay. There's no such thing as a rush with a cycle. You're going to have to go through the steps. And if you avoid them, a lot of people are in avoidance still, which is so whack to me. If you are avoiding taking any step, well, you know why you are stuck right now. If you were at least taking baby steps, well, you're starting to feel this out. You know the game. And by the way, for those who've been doing healing work for a very long time, you know too that baby steps are like, that's good, that works. Like, you're allowed to feel it out as you go. You don't have to like commit to your idea today and this is what you're doing, because that really makes no sense. For those of you that are continuously evolving and changing and expanding as an individual, right, you're gonna take steps naturally and gradually, not just like, oh, I'm doing this overnight. Because the truth is, as you're evolving and changing, you change your mind. That's what great souls do. That's what great beings do. That's what evolution is. It says action. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. Damn, I love that. Yo, I'm so happy that I caught myself before I closed out the reading without sharing this, because I believe in this so much, and this is so beautiful for this reading. It's a great way to close. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. That is the leap of faith. That is you. Now, whether you're doing it with the baby step or something massive in your life, bro, like, do something though. Like, don't be stagnant to the point where like you're not taking new action. I mean, it literally says, what, look, do you see this? Action, one sentence. So please, take inspired action. Take inspired action. Inspired action is very high vibrational and it will take you to the next step. I often call that the lily pad step because it's not your final outcome, but it gets you out of the woods. It gets you going. It gets you to this portal. It gets you to this ticket out. It gets you to the home that feels safe to you. And when I say home, it could be a physical home, but of course you are the home. You are your temple, okay? So I'll leave you with that. Stay tuned. I am going to do another live if you'd like to join me in a few minutes. I hope you are all doing just fine, and I love you.